Hey guys, thanks for coming. Anytime we play pass defense like that, we have a chance to be a really, really good team. And I felt that, obviously the way we kick-started the game with Durant Grant with the interception return, I mean, that's a good sign that we're playing much better pass defense. So a lot of positives. Most important positive that I can think of is the fact we've taken a weakness, which was pass defense, and I don't want to say it's a strength yet, but it's much improved. So I'll answer any questions for you.
Ari on the right.
Coach, Chair here. We've seen a good portion of the Big Ten now. Penny looked good again today. Is there a chance that maybe you guys have the two best quarterbacks in the Big Ten?
Oh, I don't. We've not seen all the teams yet, but I got the two that I like. So I have a lot of respect for the other quarterbacks in the league. But if we're drafted, I got the two that I like.
Right there in the front, glasses.
You know, obviously the goal is to win a national championship, but if there's anything right now when you look at your team that you'd like to tweak, change, to be able to win a national championship, what would that be?
Well, it's I got to make sure that that's not something we discuss. We discuss something about playing for championships in November, and that's what we're doing. And the goal of this team is to come back faster and stronger than they went into the bye week. So I got to make sure we're not worried about anything like that. That's the unfortunate thing about bye weeks. You let guys go for weekends and they start hearing, all due respect, stuff like that. And we just need to come back stronger and faster. We had some guys get dinged up today. Marcus Hall, Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker has a sprained MCL. He'll probably be out for a week or so. So we got to get him back once again faster and stronger than we go into the bye week. That's our goal.
Bo.
Urban, the way you guys are playing offensively, I think Braxton's like 80% completion percentage the last couple of games. Carlos, 8-9 yards a carry. Is it almost a situation, you got the bye week coming up, is it almost, you wish it wasn't, so you kind of keep this thing going a little bit, or how will you manage that?
Once again, we can't control all that. I think bye week, it's a great time for a bye week. You know why? Because that's what it is. So we're just taking a positive approach to it. And like I said, it'll be a very intense bye week because we got to make sure we're coming back faster and stronger than we went into the bye week, and that has to happen.
Is this the offense that you envisioned the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, pretty close. It's our offense line is blocking people. There's a bunch of targets. Our tight end had a great day today. And the one thing about when you play with extended receivers, more than one, you can kind of more than two. It's not you're saying get the ball to him. The defense dictates where the ball goes. We're just push the fast rewind button to 1 year ago facing the same team. Who are you going to throw the ball to? I don't know. Now you got 5-6 targets that you actually want to see the ball in their hands, and they've earned that right.
Far right over here, Tim, and then Austin.
Yeah, Urban, Taylor Decker, you talked about him. Curtis Grant had to leave too, looked like with an ankle sprain. Is that tough or?
Yeah, I think he's been fine. He went back in the game. He also had Michael Bennett had a stinger. Yeah. So we got some guys dinged up, and once again the goal is faster and stronger than when we went into it. So it has to happen.
I'd like to follow. Obviously we talked to Braxton, or whatever. Y'all saw that possibility for Harriman all week. What was it like to kind of see it come to fruition, wide open?
Well, like I said, it wasn't dictated to him. A lot of those, if you really watch the play, it's just the defense is dictating the ball where it's going. So Harriman's an excellent player, and you wish he had more touchdowns, more catches, but once again, the defense dictates where the ball is going.
Austin, Purdue, when you get into games like the last 2 weeks and then the second half when you can control it, are you playing against yourself and your own high standard when the outcome is kind of put to rest? How do you measure that, keep guys going?
Well, I think if you notice the twos go in there and they play really, you can't tell the twos not to go. And the one thing is there's going to be a time where you're going to see 4 offensive linemen walk out that door. And I'm going to be as sick as everybody because I love those guys, and they're really good players that are completely aligned and bought in. They're as good as guys that have been around. When they walk out the door, someone's got to step in their shoes. And you're seeing a group of twos go out there and start to develop right now.
Right behind Austin, Journal-Courier reporter.
Let's talk about this has been a kind of an unkind stadium the last decade or so for Ohio State. How did that pick six sort of set the tone that you get?
Well, you take a look at 2 years ago, you lost. Last year, very well, you could have lost against the same team, and then this year we just played at a much higher level. So, I know the history. We actually had great discussion about it, and Jack Mewhort kind of brought it up too. So these players. We're dealing with very smart players in this program, so they understood it and they came out and took care of business.
Left, Bill.
It's been almost a generation since he tied in for Ohio State that won a game in Ricky Dutch in '96. Any thoughts on that? Is it because lots of times, Sanzenbacher come out of the slot and they'd use him over the middle and stuff like that?
Well, it depends who your tight ends are, and we happen to have. I think early in the season, Jeff wasn't playing like he's playing now. And the guy behind him is a pretty good player too, Nick Vanette. So he's earned that right. He's playing a much higher level than he did in the first 5 games, and he's a very important part of the passing game.
Bill.
It's no secret that Purdue struggled. I know you've talked about the history so much against Purdue, but you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds. Are you ever concerned that you might just have that hiccup because they know they see the tape?
Of course we're concerned. That's who we are, and that's who I am. Extremely concerned. And we came in pregame, and our strength coach rattled her cage a little bit, and so because I felt a sleepy, not necessarily a sleepy look, but I just didn't like what I saw in pregame. So we brought him in here and kind of rattled it up a little bit and made sure he woke up.
How do you do that? What do you do?
It's in-house. It's just pretty, what's the proper word? Not emotional, but
Fiery.
demonstrative. What's that? Fiery? Yeah, something. Very good.
Last 2 questions. We'll go Clay and then Doug Lesmerises. Clay?
So are you seeing your team tighten the focus, knowing what's at stake? Braxton talked about it was harped on all week what had happened here. You see them taking the message and running with it?
I don't see it, Clay. A great question, because it's hard for me to pick out one. I try to do that, pick out 1 or 2 guys if I don't think they're getting it. And last night was a very powerful message. And one thing is you try to look in every player's eyes. You hold your coaches accountable for each unit. And I don't feel one guy's not getting a message. And that's kind of neat to have in a football team.
And final question, Doug.
Urban, what does it do to your offense when your offensive coordinator's wife has a baby in the middle?
Well, I had to dock him a day's pay. He actually came in for 7 minutes, and I really was going to put a form letter on his desk about being docked, but I thought it'd be best interest not to do that. But Maverick is a future Buckeye, and he's welcome, a great part of our family now. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Is Jordan Hall going to set back?